So
That's because they denied Trump. There was
is that it?
it's a
Oh, okay.
conspiracy.
All right, we are live, gentlemen. So no more political comments. Let's keep it friendly. So, all right, welcome to the iHemp Hour. My name is Dave Craybill. I'm with iHemp Michigan. iHemp Michigan's mission is to educate, inform, and promote the research, development, and cultivation of industrial hemp here in Michigan. iHemp Michigan advocates for wellness in people and the planet through hemp, and it begins with the farmer. And as usual, we're going to start with the non-farmer, Mike Brennan from Michigan Marijuana Report. What's going on today, Mark?
Yeah, they don't get much more non-farmer than a guy who lives in a condo in Ann Arbor, but that would be me. And so one of the things, in fact, Mr. President Dave Crable was on. I interviewed him this morning for a story. 2 days ago, there was some lobbyists from the Michigan Cannabis Manufacturing Association that were in the House, Michigan House, supporting a couple of bills that would, they could one of two things. They would either regulate Delta 8, which is sort of a psychoactive ingredient that comes out of hemp that is very popular right now in a lot of states, because hemp, of course, is legal nationwide. Or they would just outright ban it, which a lot of states are going for right now. So in that story, which we just posted to Michigan Marijuana Report, mimarijuanareport.com, you can see the pros and cons of that. We obviously are just reporting it. We take no position on that. Although some of our business partners on the Hero Project do have Delta 8 in some of their gummies. So we'll see what happens next, whether they just regulate it, ban it, or whatever the case may be. I know that, David, that you were saying that the iHemp position on that is you are not in favor of having Delta 8 in your products, but I'll let you speak for yourself real quickly here.
Yeah, it's I understand the desire, for the income. The monetary motivation is very high, to produce this cannabinoid, but it really isn't the intent of industrial hemp to provide an intoxicant. We're more focused on the grain and fiber, the CBD and the CBN and CBG. Those are great cannabinoids that are providing great benefits. We want to continue that, but we just don't feel that anything that markets as an intoxicant is a good path for industrial hemp.
Okay. And one other thing on my show yesterday on 420 Post, we had Benziga's Patrick Lane on. Benziga is a financial news service that covers cannabis on a worldwide basis from a business point of view. And as you know, the pandemic has put a kibosh on live events, and Benziga was having live events all over the country. And they said maybe later this year they're going to go back to live events. I know they had a big one in Detroit 2 years ago where I met a lot of the players, got started on all this stuff. And depending on the vaccine level and the pandemic level, it's all to be determined. We may begin to see live cannabis-related events again. And I know the iHemp folks, so you guys hopefully are going to have your event next January live. I think by then everything should be pretty much under control. At least we hope, right?
Oh no, we're planning. We're going to do it. Hell yeah!
We're going to go for it. Yeah, all right. I like that.
And what are the dates? January 20th and 21st, is it, or 21st?
22nd, 23rd.
Yeah, a long ways out. Yeah, we should be. The way things are going, I have a show on Monday that's where we have epidemiologists on that show. And he's indicating as well that things are beginning to kind of get under control. And certainly by January, I think we'll be, what is the new normal? I don't know. But we may have to wear masks indoors for a while. But I think as long as we get a lot of people vaccinated, move towards that whole herd immunity thing, then, in the end, it'll be just a bad case of the flu. But we'll see what happens. I don't have a crystal ball. So back to you, Dave.
All right. Well, let's go to Blaine. I'm sure Blaine has some news to share.
Always have, without a doubt, I always have something to share, whether it's relevant or not, we'll see, but certainly something to share. I'm going to correct the date. You're right, Dave. January 21st and 22nd. So the 20th will be the Thursday. That'll be the move-in day. But we're planning. We've already started talking with Lansing about it, the same place we had it last time at the Lansing Center. So we're looking forward to once again hosting that and having a great time with everybody. So a couple of things, and then we've got such a huge show today that I'm going to really cut the news short. Now, if we have room, I'll put more stuff in the end. But first of all, if you grew hemp in 2020, you do have some assistance that's available. I believe it's $35 an acre. You need to contact and talk to your local farm service agency office. They can help you walk through that. It's a real simple process to make the application out. Also remember that this year with the new rules that you have to report your acres to the farm service agency. And again, a simple process there, and you get a cool map when you walk out of that whole thing. Right now, they're doing mostly everything is being done remotely. They're sending out maps or sending out stuff. If you have not certified there before, you may need to go there and show your driver's license and that kind of thing. But again, a pretty simple process. If anybody has any questions, get a hold of me. I worked there for 27 years, so I think I know how to get around some of that stuff there. MDART put out an interesting email this week. It is entitled Hemp in Food and Dairy Products. This is really nothing new. It is the FDA stance as it is right now. CBD is not authorized, let's say, to be put into food products at this time. But we're working on that. That's one of the bills that we've got sponsored, the 841 bill, to get that into for the safe path for regulation of putting CBD in food products. Now, if you're putting things like hemp oil that I make, okay, if it's just a straight product, then that's not a problem. But if you're putting CBD in your brownies and you're doing that kind of thing, those are the things that they're talking about here.
Or your chocolate peanut butter CBD balls.
Yes, absolutely.
Who makes those, Dave?
Not allowed, but certainly appreciated, Dave. That's for sure. So, so nothing really new here. This is the stance that they have to take because that is the federal law right now, and they can't obviously go against that. There's not a lot of enforcement that they're doing right now because they don't have that regulatory arm. But don't go to the best advice I can give you is don't go to the farmer's market this year trying to sell your CBD brownies with that kind of product in it. So again, nothing real new here, but that's part of the email that came out there. So I think with that, really, Dave, I'm going to cut my other news short and do it at the end because we've got so many talented people today that I want to get to them. So
we have an international cast.
Yeah, we do.
JD Ackley from Ackley Hemp Farms. He's put together a full service hemp field services company, co-op, and JD's going to talk about his white mulch transplanting, flower harvesting with the HHH 700. Yeah, Henry's from Germany here to talk about that. On-site auto cure processor and a whole bunch of other stuff. So JD, why don't you get right to it? Why don't you tell us what you have going on? I know you have a nice presentation you've prepared. Thank you very much for being part of the
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Dave. Thanks for the welcome. I'm really excited to be here. I'm with my head of cultivation here, Alec Britton. We're really excited to talk about the boutique services we've put together for the hemp industry. We worked last year with Miller Farms a lot in developing our plan for this year and our grow. And we really saw a lot of gaps in what was out there in the space to help farmers get into the field and out of the field. We discovered there were a lot of gaps and difficulties with getting out of the field, and the space needed to dry and cure a lot of that. And we've heard a lot of horror stories about stuff going to mold in. We really took a look, and we started growing and networking with other farmers, and we've amassed a herd of equipment to this point, and we have some really talented guys, and we've really had a chance to put together a great partnership with some really interesting technologies. 3 of the technologies and the partners we brought in today to speak with us are revolutionary to the market. There's nothing really like them in this space yet. So I'm really excited to jump in and talk about what they're doing here. So we're a small farm, a boutique farm here in Southwest Michigan. We're about 10 acres. We're growing 4,000 cultivars, clones for smokable flower here, doing 2,000 clones for terpenes from the hemp mine. and almost 19,000 for oil for Mid-Michigan hemp. So we're a small farm focused on more of the smokable flower and CBD cannabinoid side of the business here, and we're really excited to get growing. Like I said, we've worked with Miller Farms last season, really understanding the processes and how we're going to go at it. They're big fans here, Hempy winners this year, so we've got a lot of great guidance, and Ken and Mark have just been fabulous in leading the way and really leading us, sharing all their information. So we've started off with partnering with them, and we've now partnered with 4 other farms at this point here, and we have some spaces to help some other farmers, right? So what we've built is a fairly full services, right? So we have the ability to, get the mulch into the ground, get transplanted for you. We have great partnerships with some genetic companies. And then during the summer, we have made an investment into THC testing machines, the Neogen Raptor, right? One of the big hiccups, I would say, last year in Mark's program, Mark and Ken ran into some shipping delays, right? They were using a lab that was out of state, and they lost 2 of their samples. And we know how critical it is to keep an eye on your T levels while the flowering's in progress. So losing 2 weeks to misunderstandings with UPS and the postal service there, and not having somebody local to run to, really created a lot of difficulties and concern for them, right? So we've alleviated some of that by having a machine here in Southwest Michigan that we can service the Southwest and really bring a full complement to what we're doing. And then the really exciting part here is what we're doing in the fall, right? So we've have an interesting partnership with Henry and the HHH 700 flower harvesting machine. So we're going to talk with that, and Henry's on the line with us. As you mentioned, the auto cure, which is really revolutionary to provide a really compact space for drying and curing. And Cole, the inventor of that product, is online with us, and he'll talk a little bit about that. And then New River Distilling is here with us for terpene extraction. So he has a mobile plant that he's going to talk about, and really has a new process as he's addressing what they're doing in terpene extraction, really the highest quality, as well as having a product left over. One of the gaps with steam distilling for terpenes is you're left with just mush. Everything you put in, you get the terpenes out, but otherwise you're just left with mush. And his new process is really quite interesting. So we'll bring him on for a second here. And then we're big partners with oil extraction. So Dr. Fabio Rodi and Icon Processing, we're really working really closely with him this season for processing and extracting down to isolate the different oil products there. So as I mentioned, our partners, we have a really good list here with Icon, New River, Neogen doing the testing. We worked pretty closely with Rainflow. We have Rainflow machines, and they do irrigation design and planning for us, and their support services. So really excited about that. We've also partnered with Roger, a big fan of the iHemp Hour here in Film Organic. So we're really excited to use his white mulch product that's compostable and organic. And as I said, our genetics partners here are really top tier. We're working really closely with the hemp mine. Dr. Justice is just, she's absolutely at the forefront of the industry and a thought leader there. Just a real power what she's bringing to the industry here, and the professionalism and the just the high quality. We've been so impressed with working with the hemp mine. Mark and Ken work really closely with them, and really helped us last year at some of the field trials we went to work through their genetics, and they've been just very supportive with the consulting. I think they really have fabulous tools to understand light period and what grows well in Michigan, and they, and they've grown here. They've had field trials here in the area. We were able to test and see how their genetics turned out. Cultivaris as well, just another top tier player in this space, another thought leader. Dave Marshall here is local in Paw Paw, and he's just been instrumental in helping us with field prep and understanding. Coming from that ornamental horticultural and greenhouse space in the market, he brings a really good understanding of what it takes to bring these to fruition, as well as having the local understanding and the connections with the testing and understanding the regulations on a very local level. So it's been great to partner with him. And Mid-Michigan Hemp over there in Midland, really just another top tier genetics partner. They, they have a really good understanding of what they're doing there, able to propagate to a high level there with genetics here from Michigan, right here, propagated and grown here in Michigan. So really excited to work with those guys as well. So starting here in the spring, we're co-oping with 4 farms now. We're still looking for some, we do have some gaps here if anybody does not have a plan to get their field transplanted at this point. You know, we have a crew of guys and we're looking for some more farms to partner with here in our co-op to deliver these services. So we can do the raised white mulch raised beds. That's a tongue twister, huh? And get them in the ground for you and work with irrigation to understand what your needs are and get the drip tape in there and install it, as well as transplanting for you. So we have a crew of guys and we're working with Film Organics, and we have the ability to lay that for you to support that. And then we have the THC testing machine. So we made an investment in the Neogen Raptor there, and we've worked with the folks at Mid-Michigan Hemp who have really worked closely with Neogen to develop that and understand and have that field testable aspect of it, right? So we can provide lots of samples and get out there and have a really good look at what fields are doing there and understand them as they're flowering out there to make sure that we're in compliance there and we can have a good regimen. But that's a good service we can layer in, you know, and that's the beauty of a lot of these services. They might not be, you might not be in need of all of them, but there's certainly some aspects and some holes we can plug to help you have a successful season. And with that, we'll jump into this very interesting machine, the HHH 700, developed out in Germany by Henry. And Henry's on the line with us today, and I'll turn it over to Henry to talk a little bit about what he's doing and his machine.
Hi all. So I want to start with my history. My beginnings are back in 2015 when I learned that there is almost no machinery for flower harvesting on the market, especially for small farms. And I wanted to give an affordable machine for beginners with like 2 or 5 hectares because they were depending from laborious work of a lot of people, and they were standing around the table in Czech Republic where I saw it first time, and 25 persons were stripping with that thumbnail and index finger these flowers for extraction and also for food. So I became self-employed in 2016, and I had more time to think about that project, and I decided to go into hemp besides the engineering services. So I made my mind up and tried to imitate that move and how it could be done driving through the field. And I have prepared a couple of slides with pictures that show the development year one by one. It's always a picture per year. 2016 is, JD, you have to stop your presentation and let me share my desktop. So can you see that? This is the first prototype of the machine. It was very humble and large. It was with electrical drive, but it already had that central mechanism with the double chains and the rollers that pull the stems. I already started to patent this technology, and it is a basic and easy technology, but still possible to get patents in Canada, USA, and for Europe. This is year 2. The next development, we put it in front of a tractor and made it shorter. It was a little bit better, but still too broad to get the hemp in, especially at that size from 1.50 meters to 2 meters. It's like 6 feet to tell new measures. And I tried a lot to solve that problem. We had that in a barn then, and successfully stripped the flowers inside a barn in a stationary process. And for the next year, we created a table machine and tried to feed the hemp stems one by one or in blocks into it. This machine actually won a prize in the Expo Canamo in Seville, but it didn't work out at the speed that we expected. So this is the 2019 model. It was quite advanced. It was front loaded or front mounted on a tractor and hydraulically driven. And we had some good trials with it, and we worked on the surface of the rollers and the tension of the chains. And this is the machine that finally was created by the company Eilhauer in Hanover, based on that draft. And we had that machine in Industrial Hemp in Germany, and we also tried with bushy plants in Switzerland, because they are allowed to grow up to 1% THC, and they have a different shape of the plants. This is from last week, the latest released machine that we sent to USA already, and I think JD will see exactly this machine on your field working. So it is still a machine that is affordable and small enough for beginners, starters. You don't need to start with 200 or 500 acres and buy machinery for $500,000. So you can have this machine for industrial hemp, and all altitudes. You can mount it on the front lifter and take it up to 9 or 10 feet. But it is also versatile enough to strip the Mariana flowers or CBD flowers in a very gentle way. It's similar to the process that other buckers do, but we do it in 50 times faster than any other machine can. So it is still a hemp machine, but it is versatile enough for low hemp, large hemp, and for bushy and massive flowers. And the product is absolutely like hands-free. So this is short overview of my work so far. I mean, I think you will see the machine sometimes, or you can visit my website. There is a video on it that shows quite good what the machine can do and how it works. Yeah, and if there are questions, I hope to.
Thank you very much, Henry, for sharing that. We are very excited to receive this machine. Yeah, so they are still being all built in Germany at this point at Henry's manufacturing facility, and we have just gained the first round of machines here in the United States. Jamie picked them up last Friday, so we are very excited to have them here. And we're very excited to have one of these here in the Midwest to run it around this season. So that's one of the things we're looking for this summer. We're looking for some greenhouse partners that we can go and demo this and bring some farmers from around the region to see it in action. So that's one of our asks for today. So if you have a greenhouse and you like to see a demo of this, we're looking to get around the Midwest and show it off a little bit. And certainly we are ramping up manufacture here in North America, so we don't have to import them all from Germany, deal with aluminum tariffs and all those difficulties of importing them. So we're looking to get them out there this year. Certainly looking for some fields to harvest in the fall when that time comes. To go out there and harvest for you. And with the bushier flowers, we hand feed them in there. It's not that we don't drive right through them there. So a crew would hand feed them there and capture the high quality flower, obviously bringing up the percentages within your within your overall capture there, and capturing the highest quality flower that we can bring to a smokable state quicker, right? So
can I ask a quick question? What is we always ask what these devices cost. I know you're not selling it, but I mean, just what are we looking at here?
I have a distributor in North America. For pricing, you should contact Simon. That is possible. I can, of course, forward you to that address, but he makes the prices for America. They differ from European prices because the market structure is different, and I don't mix up with that. So if you're interested to get in contact and have a quotation for a machine, then I hand you over to Simon.
Okay.
Do we have a web address?
Mike, to that point.
Yeah.
Yep, I have that. So I'm you can reach through me, and I work closely with Simon there, and we're going to work with we're still very much in the infancy of that, Mike, right? So literally the first machines landed last Friday. We are prototyping them. There are some nuance between manufacturing in the EU and manufacturing here, standard bolt sizes, tray sizes, and things of that nature. So we have Simon has the manufacturing capabilities, and they're working that out, and we are working to get the demos out there and the reverse engineering one. So it's a little bit TBD at this point. They're trying to understand what that's going to look like, but we're hoping to be quite affordable. As Henry said, this is something for the smaller farm. We're shooting to serve under 25-acre farms, so something that we can get into or co-op with several smaller farms, as we're trying to do here.
So JD, when I'm reading this and I'm looking at this machine, so this will actually strip the flower off of the stalks?
That is true. Yes, that's exactly what we're shooting for. We're looking to feed in, a long branch with a nice cola on it, feed it in there, get rid of that fan and some of the larf there, and produce just a flower, right? Something that we can take to a trimmer or take right into the cure machine there. And that's the goal. It's not a bucker. We don't want to say it's something that go in there and just emaciates the whole thing and gives you a lot of biomass, right? Just without stem. So this is
Why
looking
would
to
you say it's
capture
not a bucker? I mean, it's butter. Isn't that a bucker?
Yeah, so when I say it's not a bucker, like something that would just take all of the biomass and take everything off of it in a more mashed sense, right? It's more.
Yeah. The point is that this machine doesn't turn the hemp flowers into cattle food.
Exactly. And that's what I think the perception here of a bucker is a machine that would take and just quickly rip off all the flour and rip off everything, right? Give you all of your leaves, give you everything. So I want to position it that it's not just a bucker that because there's plenty of buckers here. It's not unique to have a bucker. There are plenty of mechanized buckers here on the market that you just stand there and throw the entire branch in and get stalks back, right? This aim is to be much more gentler on that and harvest pristine flower, as you said, Henry. So that's why I wanted to establish that differentiation.
Good.
So,
okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
we
just to let everybody know, I put in the chat on the iHemp Hour page right now, but for anyone listening to a recording of this, go to henryshempharvester.com and you can see a video demo of it.
Yeah, a lot of great demos of it. And we're going to have much more video coming soon. We're working to get some of that production work here as we get our hands on this machine here in the very short term. So next, solving for the next problem I had was one thing that Mark and Ken really came across is they built a very large pole barn, a 22-foot eave, 60 by or 80 by 100 foot pole barn, and for their 10,000 plants they had to run it full 3 times to dry, right? So drying and hand curing was certainly extremely space restrictive and a lot of risk in that, right? So with the curing process, it is certainly one of the riskiest parts of the entire process to get it hung dry correctly and to get it without getting any mold or without losing your entire crop in a matter of days to unfavorable weather conditions. So that's another point too I wanted to bring up about the Henry's hemp flower harvester is that with that speed, it allows us to run as close to that 30 days as possible and really navigate around weather windows, right? So, a process that might take, 10, 15 people to get down in a reasonable amount of time, we can do in days, right, or a day. So we can navigate around weather windows and we can be very precise with as long as we dare to run out those 30 days. So a very important part about what that machine affords us in this industry. So from a curing perspective, though, certainly the biggest fear out there is losing it to mold, losing it to anything. And it's not an exact science. When you hang it up to dry, you're kind of dealing with large volumes of air and trying to get it cured and dried properly. And certainly moisture meters and things out there to help you along that way. But it's certainly a seat of the pants affair. And working with cultivars, they're using this auto cure technology. And we were just blown away with it. Some of the science and the research they've put behind this machine and what it can do to your crop, not only does it expedite the curing time, but it also captures a lot more. So with that, I'll bring in Cole here to talk about his auto cure. Loud and clear.
Great. Appreciate it, JD. So great intro to AutoCure, JD. Really appreciate that. So our system, our technology is essentially for drying and curing, actually. So the AutoCure chambers, they're airtight chambers. It's based off the true curing process ultimately, which is burping the moisture off the flower. Okay, so that's what you're doing in curing ultimately, is you're slowing down the moisture release of the flower for a couple of reasons. One, so that you don't over dry it, so that you're actually retaining the terpenes and the cannabinoids, which we've proven in various lab tests, which you mentioned, but also to actually get the flower down to your finished moisture content, which is typically between, for smokable flower, it's typically between 8 and 12%. And that's important ultimately for the shelf stability of the flower. So ultimately, as a producer, what's the most important thing in drying and curing is getting your harvest to shelf stable flower, meaning that it's not going to mold if you put it in a sealed packaging, or that it's not over dried. So what AutoCure does is it uses custom software and robotics systems that we've patented and developed over years, to create an algorithm that controls moisture release. When you put flower inside of AutoCure wet, it could either be hung, or it could be loaded using any type of harvesting equipment that we just went over, which looks actually like a perfect mesh. So very excited to learn more about that as well. But basically, fresh wet flower usually takes about 10 days total to go from your 80% fresh moisture content down to your finished moisture content of between 8 and 12%. So that 10 days could be increased to 14 to 21 if you wanted to. We have a full touchscreen control system so that you can dial in your drying and curing process with much more. It's really the only way to dial it in a precision way. Really, the only other competition, so to speak, to AutoCure in terms of what it's doing is actually doing the traditional manual curing process, which, as JD mentioned, it's a very inexact science, and it's very challenging to get down properly, especially when you're doing large quantities. So as JD mentioned, we're basically ultimately for hemp, why it's important to cure hemp's flower is that ultimately the customers are smoking that hemp, that smokable flower, for the terpene content. So if you're not drying the flower properly, first of all, or not curing the flower properly at all, then the flower is going to taste not as good. And with hemp flower, that is what you're marketing, is actually the terpenes of the flower. So with Cultivaris, we've been working with them for a while now. Excuse me. They won a cannabis cup here in Southern California for hemp flower, and everybody was commenting just on the level of terpiness, the terpenes in the flower, how smooth it tastes, and just how it looks. So in AutoCure, you don't have to touch anything. It's fully automated. We have a full cloud system to track everything. So we're really excited to start working with Ackley Farms and get more and more into the smokable flower market as it's growing. We've already made a great footprint, so we're excited to keep getting in here more and more with these types of partnerships.
Thanks, Cole. Yeah, we're excited, really excited to have one of these machines here on farm here in Southwest Michigan. So we certainly think that's a boon for Michigan as a whole, right? Where to have some of this this really high-end equipment to really elevate the game, it's going to make a premium product, right? And if you're looking to do anything in smokable flower, that curing is absolutely the pinnacle and the most important part, to produce that high quality taste, to produce what people are really looking for there. So, and it takes the guesswork out of it. It's certainly the higher end in the market. I think we want to produce products, that are, people are looking for. I think a lot of that biomass price has just been a race to the bottom, right? And farmers now are looking for something to, that they can be profitable on, and that smokable flower market has held pretty strong. Seems to be even coming back up as of late. So this allows farmer to take what they have out there and finish it to that highest level and be able to sell that for the top dollar in that smokable flower field there. So really
Cole,
excited to have this technology.
Cole, I can't tell from the picture. Is that on wheels, or is that mobile, or how do you move it around?
So good question. That picture that we're seeing right now is from inside of the chamber, inside of the auto cure chamber. So what you're seeing with the flower below that is our movable racks. So each one of those racks are on wheels, and each one of the racks holds 20 trays. So basically, this is our bucked flower system. So basically how the flower would be loaded is on each one of those individual trays using some type of a harvesting system. And then each one of the racks is put inside of the auto cure and closed up and sealed up. So we also have hanging racks as well. So you would actually be able to hang the flower inside of the chamber, basically it would fill the chamber in the same way as the racks you're seeing now, except you're actually hanging the flower as well.
And did you develop your own algorithms and AI system, or did you outsource that, or what?
We do everything. So we're located in San Diego. One of my partners is a back-end software developer, big data, Silicon Valley. That's where he was trained. So basically, that's where our whole cloud system comes in, and in tracking the flower, because as I mentioned, with smokable flower, your two main components that factor into the quality of it are your terpene levels and your cannabinoid levels. And so when you're able to track those in the curing process and link them to lab test results, you're able to basically tie together the drying and curing process with the growing process, which already has those type of tracking variables as well.
And
JD,
Mike,
I'm assuming, JD, you're going to offer this as a service this fall, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. All these here, it'll be on farm here. So it is tactically in a shipping container. We also have shipping containers.
That was my next question too.
Yeah.
How do you get it
So,
around, so.
Yeah, it's in a shipping container. And we're also going to stack up a few reefer shipping containers to be able to front end and store. So we can kind of stage and get a gauge for that. So we're certainly looking for folks to take advantage of this, to work with us to do this curing here. And as Cole said, the beauty of it is it's managed in the cloud, right? So we'll have this machine here on farm, but it will have Cole's eyes on it the whole time. So he can work with us adjusting that, and we'll have auto cure as a whole overseeing that. And being cloud managed is really great. There's just a myriad of sensors in there, and what they do with handling the air and getting to that level is really the mystery in it. So to have them to be able to oversee it the entire time is a real powerful story.
So I'm assuming that this also works for recreational and medical marijuana, regular marijuana as well.
Yes. Yeah. So that's actually what we developed it for initially. So we've been in the market for more than 5 years now, starting in recreational and medical. But flower's flower at the end of the day. And actually the system works with other types of plants besides cannabis as well. So it's really the curing process, and you want to get the anything down to your finished moisture content while retaining the oils inside of that. Otherwise, you just lose them. So it's a straightforward process. We just developed the robotics and the system to do it automatically and consistently.
Yeah, the Michigan Marijuana Report deals with a lot of the big growers here in Michigan, so this might be something they'd be real interested in. So.
Yeah, we have customers in Michigan as well, and the recreational medical side of things. So, and just to touch point on they come in shipping containers, so they're fully movable and are able to be put outside. We also have chambers that are able to be installed into dry rooms, pre-existing infrastructure as well. So either the shipping container or a dry room infrastructure, pole barn, what have you, would work either way.
Great.
Thanks, Cole.
Awesome. Actually,
Great,
awesome.
appreciate it.
So up next, we have a really exciting thing we see in the hemp, and I feel like a broken record because this is also exciting. But working with New River Distilling on a very a new and unique terpene extraction process. So we have today Daniel on the line from the owner of New River Distilling to talk about a little bit about his process and how it all works.
Is
Daniel, you're muted. There you go.
I didn't want to say it.
Welcome, Daniel.
Oh no.
Did we
We're
lose
not
him?
hearing Daniel. Technical difficulties. No, sir.
There's a button that you have to click on audio. Did you do that? There you go.
Dreaded double mute.
Okay, all right.
Wait, now can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
A-okay. Wonderful, sir.
Oh, there we are. Okay.
Got
Yeah,
you.
I'm connected on my phone as well. There might be some issue there, but either way, I hope everyone's doing well. I just got just a few minutes here. But Daniel from New River Distilling Company, we're located in Boone, North Carolina, just north of Asheville. And we are an end-to-end processor. We specialize in flavor and aroma extractions from all types of plant material, citrus, hops, lavender, and hemp is a big one for us. And so we're CGMP certified. We are USDA organic certified as a processor end-to-end. And we began in the hemp space, at least, offering farmers on-farm extraction systems so that they didn't have to lug all of their biomass, whether it was dried or not, to a large processing facility. They could do at least the first part of the process themselves. So giving a little bit of power back to the farmer. And that pictured here is that one of those systems. We have built 4 around the North and South Carolina areas, and we're releasing 4 more of these systems. Some are brand new farms and some are just add-ons to these existing extraction outposts. The existing extraction outposts are cryogenic ethanol based. And there's a problem when you bring biomass or just hemp flower in general to an ethanol extraction, you basically lose the high quality terpenes or essential oils. I use those terms interchangeably, essential oils and terpenes. You essentially lose how they smell. Now, you can pull out the volatile compounds, but once mixed with volatile solvents like ethanol or even a denatured ethanol, they're kind of a lost cause. And on the other end of that, if you run a steam distillation, which is the standard in the industry, you then essentially you could lose the cannabinoids. They don't go away. You just then taint the plant with a lot of water. And like JD said, you end up with more of like a mash out of a brew tun or a mash tun at a brewery. Now, you could absolutely take that to a dryer and dry out the water and then extract it. But you're going around in circles there. So what we've thought about and developed is a way to, one, dry the material, rid it of moisture, but also capture those terpenes as you're removing moisture straight out of the field. So this unit goes around the field, likely out of the harvester from Germany, very impressive, is going to be perfect for our system to feed-wise input material. In a solventless manner, we're able to pull the water and the terpenes, separate them, and then you're left behind with a very dry, somewhere around 5 to 8% moisture content material that's ready for ethanol extraction. So this isn't for smokable flower unless you're looking to remove the essential oils and add them back onto flour later, or a different lot of flour. The essential oils are more for topicals and concentrates, recreational concentrates, or even if a medical patient wants to vaporize oil. So yeah, I mean, that's the basic point of it, that you are able to go straight to an ethanol extraction, and then this machine is the curing process, if you will. So it's kind of a 2-in-1. And then, go straight to ethanol, go to a crude oil, and then we are a refinery here, or we offer that to farmers as well.
So Daniel, what's the input output, so to speak, of this? So how many pounds can you do an hour or whatever?
So it's adjustable. So the most popular system that we're going to be installing is a 400 pounds per day wet, and it's about a 1% yield on that. So if you're processing, a quote I just put out, 20,000 pounds of wet material processed, they're going to come out with something like 70 to 75 liters of essential oil or terpenes. So 70,000 mLs or so. And that's out of a 20,000 pound lot. And JD and I spoke about this. Another option or a good point about this is that it's not an all at once harvest approach. You process incrementally every day.
Will this also work on dry material as well?
Yeah.
Yes, it will. Yep, sure will. It's just the wet material that's going to produce the highest quality essential oil, because the essential oil you capture is exactly how that flower smells before it's cut down and processed further down the line.
So after you extract the terpenes, then it goes
Wayne,
to auto cure?
No, it would
No,
go
so,
to an extractor to bring it down to crude or
isolate.
yeah. So
distillate
the
isolate. So
auto
this
cure
isn't
would
for
take it
smokable.
to.
Okay.
So Dave, the smokable flower would go through the auto cure route to get it to an oil product. That's the beauty of it. The byproduct is we could still take it down to crude or down to isolate, whichever we desired. So it would come out of the machine dried, but with all the cannabinoids still intact, that we could further extract it. So it is, as Daniel mentioned, what you wind up with in traditional extraction is just a mush that could possibly be usable, but is typically not. It's too it's cost prohibitive to move further down that. But to Blaine's point, I wanted to circle back on throughput. Using some of the rough metrics, steam distilling takes about 250 pounds wet to create a liter of the essential oils, where this process uses a bit less than that, a little under 200 pounds. And obviously, those are just rough numbers. It depends on the terpene content of the plant we're harvesting and so many other factors. But just looking at it, it does take a significant it does take a noticeable amount less to create a higher quality terpene product. I think the rage right now in the card industry is the difference between the botanically derived terpenes versus the cannabis derived terpenes. And with the price of tea being so high, it's a great play for the hemp space to be able to capture those same terpene profiles, just grown without the tea, right? So, where the tea market is much more expensive per pound, the hemp flower market is, a significant savings. So we still have the cannabis derived terpenes and those high quality terpenes because, in the card space, tea is tea, right? The terpenes bring that flavor and those, the co-processes of having both the terpenes and the tea together.
A little bit of terpene or essential oil goes a long way. So we work a lot in the beer world, and some of our customers will insert the hemp essential oil into beer, and 1 ml for every 31 gallons is one of our customers is using. So a little bit goes a long way, at least in a beverage.
Yeah.
I think JD can tell you that in the West Michigan, there's a lot of boutique beers, a lot of brewers over there. That might be something they would be interested in. So
Very, yeah. No, we've had a lot of interest to understand what we're doing here, and as we get that rolling, we're very excited to talk with some of these industries. Yeah.
Excellent.
Great.
So, thank you, Daniel. Thank you for joining us. Really excited there. And just rounding it out there, our other partner that we're working with in oil extraction here in Michigan, Dr. Rohde, another big member, I would say, of the iHemp Hour, right? Dr. Rohde is. So, we're working with him and a board member now at this point, right? You guys are officially boarded. Dr. Rohde's organization out there with Icon, we've worked really close, in our e-commerce business. We've used them for a lot of their products and topicals, and they're right here in Michigan. We work really closely with them and Mid-Michigan Hemp for a lot of the products they're doing there. So Dr. Rohde is a really big part of our organization and what we're doing here in the 2021 season there. So that was it in a nutshell. We're call to action here is really looking for some folks with greenhouses that we could do some demos with the harvester and just really start talking with some folks there now as people are starting to go face to face in the past 3 weeks here. I've been able to actually meet with folks, so I'm excited to see what the summer entails here. But we're really looking forward to bringing these services here to Michigan. We think that's going to kind of help everyone raise the bar a bit to have these services available to everyone. So we're looking to talk with some folks. If you have a chance, hop over to AmericanHempFieldServices.com and share your information with us here and take a look a little bit further of what we're doing.
Well, I can tell you, I've been doing this show for a year, and as a technology guy, this is probably the most technologically sophisticated show we've done. All this stuff is all new to me, and I can't speak for Blaine or Dave, but boy, I'm just amazed at how sophisticated this is.
Yeah, I come from the technology world. I've recently worked for Oracle and Verizon and a consultant as well. So it's certainly leveraging what I know.
Yeah.
Got all the pieces of the puzzle there.
Yeah, and that's what we were looking for. We solved all of our problems, and we're just trying to co-op and share with everyone else and bring that out there. So hopefully it entices some folks who've been burned in the past, who don't have some of these pieces, that they can bring them in, right? Maybe they don't have the drying aspect, or maybe they like to go the terpene route. The terpenes are certainly very lucrative at this point. The stuff that Daniel is able to create is really the highest end in the industry. We're considering ourselves a rather premium brand. We think we brought a lot of great pieces to the table here. So really excited.
How mobile is this in the sense of, in the cannabis world, there's a lot of growers over more on my side of the state, a lot of facilities in Jackson, Marshall, places like that. Would you service them as well?
Oh, absolutely. We're hoping to service the entire Midwest, right? So we have a crew, we have tractors, we have we're working this out here with the transplanting as well as the harvesting, and we've working with moving a lot of this around. We have that logistical side pinned down as well. We feel that we could provide soup to nuts. We can work with you and get the right genetics with our genetics partners. We can get it into the ground for you and get you a good irrigation consultation and help you with your soil and water going. And then follow that through the summer with getting it tested, and then harvest it and process it and bring it to the market as you desire. So we feel we have all those pieces there to really help the entire piece. So looking for investors that might have the space and are looking to grow some of this. We're able to consult a little bit and show some of the modeling that we've done and where we're seeing that we can make some money in this industry.
Good stuff.
JD,
Thank you so much, JD.
do you want to mention your little soiree in July or not yet?
No, absolutely. We were really excited. So we are, our plan is to be very in front of the community here. So I'm very involved with our Three Oaks community here. I'm a local volunteer firefighter and really involved with our small church here. And we're going to have a big farm stand grand opening July 10th here on farm. So we've got a chainsaw carver. A family member of mine is a very talented chainsaw carver, and his touring season's been cut short. So he's going to come out and he's going to take one of our big oaks we have here that's since passed and sculpt out there. So we'll have a bit of a show. We have a couple food trucks. So yeah, July 10th on farm here. We're excited to welcome everyone, and hopefully the world will be opened up. Right now it's limited to 300 people. But we're on a 10-acre, 20-acre farm out here in the middle of nowhere, so it shouldn't be too much fanfare. But looking forward to meeting everyone and talking and seeing some of this stuff in action, taking a look at what we're growing and doing.
Okay.
Super. Well, this was quite an interesting show today. A lot of great information given out. Henry, thank you very much for joining us from overseas and showcasing your product. It'll be interesting to see that work this fall. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Excellent. Is it time for the hemper?
Well, we're
it
getting
was
close
also
to
very
that.
interesting for me in the technical panel with high grade knowledge people. So every day I learn and I see more. The autocure is brilliant, and this terpene extraction machine, this is something I've never seen before or heard of. And I think this is a system that fits in together very well. So you have established a great ensemble of machineries that can only be successful. That's what I think. And I'm, of course, proud to have my machine in the USA this year.
And we're very proud to have it. We're very, looking forward to it. Thank you, Henry.
Thank you, too. Thank you for the show.
Okay, I think we're ready to. JD, if you can stop sharing your screen.
Certainly can, sir.
And then, okay.
I'm waiting for that good asparagus. I just bought some asparagus, so you got me all excited here. I'm standing by, Blaine.
Okay, well, let me get to just a couple other things, and then we'll get to that because it is asparagus season. I've been out just to some changes in my family situation here, my life. I've been able to get out and do a little traveling around lately, and I see that the asparagus is coming off the fields. It looks like a really nice crop this year. So we'll see. Hopefully the frost hasn't hurt it too bad a few weeks ago. But one of the other things I wanted to mention, going back to the MDART email that came out about hemp and food and dairy products, one of the things they mentioned in there is right now, of course, it's not legal to add hemp, the grain or any of the protein of that to animals that are going into the marketplace. But if you're feeding your own animals, and if you want to feed them hemp grain or hemp protein pellets, that kind of thing, I know where you can get that stuff. Just a little plug there. But anyways, you can put it on your own. You can do it to your own animals and your own pets. So that's not a problem. You just can't put it into the marketplace yet. It's still going to be a few years. We're working very, very closely with Hemp Feed Coalition. We're going to try to get some legislation introduced here in Michigan so that we are ready when it becomes legal to feed livestock, that we don't have a delay in being able to use that. So that's one of our projects we're working on in the background. So just let you know, we are working every day to bring manufacturing and to the hemp industry here in Michigan. And we appreciate all the help that we're getting from all of our members and friends along this way to make this happen here. So we're looking forward to that. There's a hempcrete workshop that we're planning in June over in Zeeland at the Critter Barn. Right now we got June 26th is the date for that. That date may change on that, but that's what we're looking at. So there'll be more information coming out on that in the near future. Going to be a fun day to bring out the family and learn a lot about hempcrete and hemp building products as well. Also, every month we're going to do a live remote something from somewhere. Well, it may not be live, but it may be a webinar, or we're going to try to do live as much as we can. So if anybody has a place that they'd like us to come, or they'd like to host one of those monthly events, let us know. We'll be more than happy to work with you on establishing that and making that fun, so everybody can, again, keep learning and keep working with the hemp products and hemp world there. Let's see what else. A couple other news items I want to bring up. This is interesting. USDA agency and a company partner to explore personal care products from hemp. So USDA is working with Midwest Bioprocessing Center. They're out of Peoria, Illinois, and they're going to be working with the hemp oil in a different process than what normally is being done with to do this. It's called biocatalyst. In short, it involves using enzymes and heat rather than harsh chemicals and solvents to catalyze reactions that bind natural antioxidants like periodic acids and lipids. They've been working with soybean and vegetable oils, but they're now going to start working with the hemp oil. So again, every day, something is being finally coming along with manufacturing on here. So we'll keep our ear to the ground on that one, and we'll be able to share more information as we learn on that. But excited that somebody's doing that with the hemp oil. If you understand hemp oil, it is a great product. So what else we got coming on here? We have
Speaking of manufacturing, Blaine, I should be sharing pictures next week of the hemp frisbees.
oh, sweet.
We're going into production. We finally got our colorant. So
All right.
it's happening.
It's happening, right? Little at a time, it's happening. Can't wait to get mine and throw mine around. So Senator Paul Rand is still the Fight for Hemp Act to raise the THC limit to 1% continues on that. And of course, want to make sure we get support. Also make sure that, a lot of times we ask for our representatives for assistance on passing these bills or getting something we want in there. Make sure you take the next step after that too, and thank them if they've signed up and they've sponsored or supported the bills. Make sure you thank them for that. Everybody likes to thank you now and then for sure. So we're doing on time. Oh, we're getting pretty close, aren't we? Let's see. I wanted to bring up. So the 15th, Thursday the 13th, Midwest Hemp Council is having their spring sortie. This is supported with the whole hemp plant economy. If you go onto the Midwest Hemp Council site, you can see where to register for that. And kind of passed the deadline to register, but I think you can still do it. It's $25 for members and $50 for non-members if you want to attend that. That's sortie coming up. The Midwest Hemp Database applications are now available. If you want to be able to submit your cannabinoids in your plant flower and get it tested for a reduced rate out of Rock River Laboratories, you can sign up and be part of that project. And the more we get in there, boy, the more it helps out everybody to learn the different cultivars and how they're going to work here in Michigan and in the Midwest area. So Hemp at the Crossroads is still being planned for December 1st and 3rd in Plainfield, Indiana. And then, of course, we're working on the Midwest iHemp Expo. That's going to be January the 21st and 22nd in Lansing, Michigan at this point in time. So with that, since we're running real close here, we're going to get to the fun part of the hour. All right, here we go. So let's see, I'm going to share my screen if I can do this properly. Let's see if I can. Share screen, share. A little technically challenged like everybody else, but here we go. Okay, can everybody see that all right now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
All right, see, I'm getting better. I don't have live video yet, but at least I'm being able to put it up on the board here. So
He can be taught.
I am. It's like an old dog, you just got to get the right biscuit, So this is herb crusted asparagus spears. This particular recipe, I make 4 servings. It takes about 40 minutes to make, not a big deal of time. These garlic and Parmesan encrusted asparagus spears make a tasty side dish, snack, or party appetizer. So maybe we may need to bring some to your party. This is from the Naked Food magazine. Is where we got this out of. Basically, the ingredients are pretty simple. It's a bunch of asparagus, about 12 spears, and 12 tablespoons of hemp seed, a quarter cup of yeast, 1 tablespoon garlic powder, 1/8 of a tablespoon of ground pepper, a pinch of paprika, 1/4 whole wheat breadcrumbs, and juice of half a lemon. And you wash the asparagus. You preheat the oven to 350. You remove the white bottom ends. Hold each asparagus spear with both hands and bend it near the white end, and the white end will snap off. Transfer the hemp seeds to a small bowl and mix with the yeast and garlic and the pepper and the paprika and the breadcrumbs. Stir and set aside. Arrange an asparagus spears side by side in a baking dish and sprinkle with the hemp mixture. Bake for about 20 to 25 minutes or until the asparagus are crispy. Serve and sprinkle with some lemon juice. So very timely for this time of year. We can all get some fresh Michigan asparagus for sure. And that's what we have. So next week we're going to have She Hemp is going to be on. We're going to talk about Dave. Maybe you can give us an idea of what we're going to be talking about on that one.
Yeah, I found this lady. I think she's in Florida, and
Yep.
she's doing textiles. It's a hemp wool blend, and I was just really intrigued by it, so I wanted to learn more. So that's what the iHemp Hour is about. See what kind of technology and movement we have forward. The textiles is going to be an exciting sector for hemp in the future. So see what she has going on.
So if anybody has any other special shows that they'd like to have us do, or maybe get something to talk on, let us know. We'll be glad to find speakers for any of those things that may be of interest out there. So with that, that's about all I really got today, Dave. We're
all right. Well, thanks again, JD. Good show.
Thank you, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Everybody. Thanks, Henry, Alec, and Cole.
Yeah, good crew. And
Cheers,
looking forward to
everybody.
that July 10th event.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting here. Hopefully, it'll be warmed up by then.
Yeah, hopefully.
We'll be here before we know it. We're probably going to be complaining about the heat by then.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, we need it to rain, so we're going to complain there too much. So,
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, see you